right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat 1 video. So now that all the guest characters, all of the DLC characters are most likely have been released, I know that there's still a chance. There's still a chance that there might be a Combat Pack 3 in the future, but most likely this is it as far as DLC characters for MK1. It's time to do a tier list on the guest characters at first, because the guest characters is what I get asked the most to do a tier list on. So that's what we're going to do today. Leave a like on the video if you want me to do some more tier lists of, I don't know, the whole roster. I could do the whole roster as well. It's probably going to be an hour-long video because I like to talk a lot, but I could do the whole roster as well. I could do just the Mortal Kombat DLC characters. Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm going to reply to every comment the first day the video's up. So let's get started here. This is going to be a tier list of who, in my opinion, I think is the most fun guest DLC character. Maybe not, well, definitely not like the best as far as like tier list wise, like actual being viable and good. This is more so who I think is the most fun guest DLC character. So let's start off from the top. I have gameplay here ready. I'm very professional, guys. I'm very professional. So number one, we have Omni-Man. Omni-Man was the first guest DLC character to be released in MK1. I think out of all the guest DLC characters, I guess it's not really fair, because I was going to say out of all the guest DLC characters, Omni-Man seemed to have the most hype around him based on the views. But that was like maybe 2 months into MK1 when everyone was still really excited and interested about MK1, and it was at its peak. So it doesn't really count as that, because, you know, obviously you have Homelander, who was very anticipated later on when not as many people had interest in the game anymore, so it didn't like come close to the popularity of Omni-Man. But Omni-Man overall is definitely a really fun character. I wouldn't say that he's the most fun guest character in my opinion, but he's very good, very stylish. Definitely a straight up brawler character. You're going to want to be in your opponent's face. Could do some really cool combos, you know, depending on what cameo you have. You could do some crazy dive bomb combos with Scorpion. You could do some of the combos that I really like doing with Farah and the grab and the backbreaker. I think those combos look really cool, and they do a lot of damage. So especially if you do the meter burn backbreaker, it does a lot of damage. So I really like Omni-Man as a character. I think I'm going to say that he doesn't work well with every single cameo in the game. See, I think the characters that are the most fun are the characters that work really well with a lot of different cameos. That combo, for example, was going to do, it was going to do like close to 50%, but he broke it, so he didn't feel the full wrath of my Omni-Man combo. I think the characters that are the most fun are the ones that have the most variety and cameo usage, because you're not only pigeonholed to, you know, a select group of cameos. You could, oh, that was a pretty sick combo by that Sub-Zero. You can mix it up with the variety. So in my opinion, for me, I think Omni-Man, my favorite cameo to use with Omni-Man is going to be Farah, because I think Farah allows Omni-Man to get some, like I said, really sick combos. I think this is a brutality combo finish right here. Oh, absolutely perfect timing, Omni-Man. Perfect timing for that brutality combo. By the way, people ask me, why does the screen turn blue whenever you get a brutality on someone? The reason is because YouTube does not like the color red when it comes to the jelly that comes out of the characters. So if I leave it how it normally is, the video is going to get demonetized, so I have to censor it. So that's why. But yeah, Omni-Man is really fun. I feel like the most fun cameo to use with Omni-Man for me is Farah. But he doesn't have as much variety as some of these other characters are going to have. So we're going to put Omni-Man in the A category. We're going to actually rate these characters from left to right, so left being the best, going down to right. But next up here, we have Peacemaker. All right, so Peacemaker, I actually had like an incredible time playing Peacemaker because I like to play Peacemaker very offensive, and I like to put people in the corner, get some crazy setups going with Cyrax. That is my absolute favorite way to play Peacemaker, and I feel like it's the most entertaining way, at least to watch. A lot of people still, tell me to play Peacemaker. They don't tell me to play Peacemaker with Cyrax, which I think, in my opinion, that's like the most fun that I have with the character, just because I could do some like crazy setups with Peacemaker and Cyrax, and I don't think too many people actually use Peacemaker and Cyrax to begin with, so it kind of makes it a unique team that not too many people use. But yeah, voiced by John Cena. Obviously, John Cena plays a character in real life, so just absolutely perfect. I forgot to say that with Omni-Man too. The voice actor for Omni-Man actually does his voice, which in my opinion adds so much to the character. So Peacemaker, comparing Peacemaker to Omni-Man fun-wise, if you give me Peacemaker with Cyrax, and I could do some of the crazy setups and like really fun setups that I could do in the corner, I would take Peacemaker all day. I will say this though, a lot of people who do play Peacemaker are not going to be playing him the way that I play him, very offensively. And not to toot my own horn or anything, I'm just stating facts because Peacemaker has really good zoning capabilities, right? And I think the best strategy that you could have with Peacemaker is to mix them up. But a lot of times people want to use, a character like Sub-Zero and Peacemaker, or Chameleon and Peacemaker, and just kind of do the walk back, run away, gun, eagly type of stuff. But I have a lot of fun playing with Peacemaker. In my opinion, I actually think that Peacemaker is just slightly more fun than Omni-Man. If you give me the Cyrax cameo and the way I want to play Peacemaker, I think he's slightly more fun than Omni-Man. Oh, look at this. This is what I'm talking about right here. Do I actually hit him with a setup? Let's see. Oh, no, I think I just go for Fatal Blow. Oh, okay. That's smart, Super. That's smart because that was actually going to finish him off. But if you give me Peacemaker, I use him with the cameo that I want to use him with, which is Cyrax. Damn, that's a lot of damage. I have more fun playing Peacemaker than I do Omni-Man. I think Peacemaker actually has more variety when it comes to the cameo choice. You could use a lot of different cameos with Peacemaker and still have him be fun, still have him be good. So, fun-wise, I would say Peacemaker is more fun than Omni-Man. You guys could let me know down in the comment section about that. But I'm definitely going back to Peacemaker. I'm probably going to do maybe some Peacemaker and Stryker, or Peacemaker and Madam Bo, and see what I could come up with that team. But yeah, I need to go back and play some Peacemaker because it's been far too long. So let's get rid of this. And Peacemaker is going just ahead of Omni-Man in the A category as fun characters to play. I can't have everyone in S. I'm actually an easy sell. If I was someone who was judging or rating things like food, everyone would love me because I'm so easy to satisfy. I rarely have anything negative to say whenever I go to like a food establishment or something like that. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is like the critic. I'm an easy sell. So, all right, here we go. This one might be a little controversial because I've stated how much fun I have playing with this mofo right here, Homelander. But the thing is, I only have fun playing Homelander if I'm using Farah. And that's a big red flag in my opinion. The fact that I only have fun playing Homelander if I'm using, one specific cameo means that it sort of limits what I, play with and makes it less fun. Trust me, I have a lot of fun when I play that team, but it makes it just less fun overall because I know when I'm going to play Homelander, I'm most likely just going to play Farah. And, at least for a viewer, that's not going to be fun all the time just to have the same cameo over and over. That's why, fun factor wise for me, I enjoy when people like watching the videos. And if people don't like watching Farah, it's going to take away from my fun factor of like recording like doing something sick is not going to get me as excited if I know, people aren't going to find this too impressive, or maybe not even impressive wise, but just as the viewing experience, I want it to be the best possible. And just overall as a player as well, if I don't have the option to use different cameos and feel very like confident about it, as opposed to just using, the bread and butter, which is Farah. If I don't feel like a cameo could give me something that you trade off from the 50/50s and high damaging combos that Farah gives you, and gives me like a trade-off where Farah can do something, but this other cameo does, and it works really well with Homelander, then, that's, in my opinion, a little bit of a red flag as far as the full potential of the character being as fun as possible. But you guys could let me know in the comment section what other cameo do you use with Homelander? Because I know that a character like Chameleon might, do this. It might have like the same effect, maybe even more. But then again, Farah has her 50/50s. But if you use like Katana, for example, you're going to be able to get the same type of choke fly combos that you can with Farah. It's not going to be to the same degree, but, you get something a little bit similar. Maybe Janet. I've seen Janet being used because you could keep your opponent in the air. Homelander's still hovering in the air. You could get another choke off. I've seen other cameos being used with Homelander, but for the most part, when you see Homelander gameplay, what cameo is it that you see? You always see Farah because she works so well with him. She gives him the 50/50s. She gives him a way to, sort of brainlessly hit confirm or just do it on block. His forward 4 laser, you could just do forward 4 into the low, and you could be max range. You don't really even need to hit confirm. You could just do it. If they block it, they block it. You're safe. If they get hit, then you're gonna get a full combo. Depending on how far you are, you could do the same thing with the overhead. So you have like a forward 4 mix up, and it actually used to be even worse because they nerfed Homelander's ability to tick throw forward 4 into command grab. So back before, well, actually, no, wait. I'm sorry. That's the wrong statement. You could still do that. Tick throw just means like if you block a forward 4, the laser attack, if they block it and you do the dash grab, it's still going to hit them. What they took away is the ability to combo from forward 4 into grab. So before, you actually had like a brainless sort of hit, block confirm into the command grab. So you would do the forward 4, which is his laser attack, and if they got hit and you did the grab, it would still combo, and on block it would be a tick throw. So they nerfed that, and that used to be like a really, really, really powerful weapon for him, because the game sort of did it for you. If you hit him with the forward 4 grab, it comboed. If they blocked it, it was a tick throw. And all you needed to do was delay the forward 4 on block a little bit. And then you would convert it with the Farah, like, cameo, the bounce. So it was actually even better than it is now. But yeah, I still have a good time playing Homelander. But, the only cameo that I do have fun playing Homelander with is Farah. So because of that, Homelander is going to get downgraded into the B category. Just a spoiler alert, I think that the guest characters in season 2 in Chaos Reigns are more fun in general than the ones in the first season. So I do think that Ghostface, Conan, and T-1000 are more fun to play than these characters. I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. All right, so now we move on to Ghostface, and I personally think that Ghostface is indeed my favorite character in all of Mortal Kombat 1. I think Ghostface is my favorite character in MK1 because you not only have the variety of a lot of different cameos, but you have the variety of switching stances. You could switch to the red, which is Kira, which is I forgot what the name of the Assassin. You could switch to Assassin, which is the red form, right? The red stance. Or you could switch to the blue stance, which is Enforcer, which is Cobra. And those two stances give you different options than your base killer in Ghostface. So you not only have the variety of having a multitude of cameos that you could pair up with Ghostface that actually change up the way you are going to play Ghostface and which of the stances you're going to use. But you do just in general get the variety of having two other stances that play completely differently than the traditional Ghostface. So your options are far greater than pretty much any other character in the game, I think. Like, what other character gives you two pretty much variations that you could switch from, depending on what your goal is? Assassin is going to be a zoning pressure with the knife cancel. Enforcer straight up going to be 50-50 mix-ups. Or the traditional Ghostface, which has the command grab. Like, you get so much variety with Ghostface. I think Ghostface is one of the greatest guest characters of all time because they did just such an amazing job of giving you fun gameplay that also has variety in it. I can't really say, like, I don't think I have anything negative to say about Ghostface because you can use Ghostface with any cameo. Like, it doesn't matter what cameo. You can use him with Janet. You can use him with Sub-Zero. You can use him with Scorpion. Actually, Scorpion, I think, is probably the best cameo that Ghostface has because you get to meterlessly combo from almost anything. Command grab combo from that. Back throw combo from that. Kira combo from all her stuff. Enforcer, you actually get really good mix-ups and 50-50s that lead to Vortex that could take away your whole life bar in one sequence. And then, obviously, now you have Striker, which you guys are seeing me use in this gameplay, that gives Ghostface, like, ridiculous damage. I messed it up right there. You can't let it rock that long with the killer stab. You can't let it rock that long. He still needs to be, like, standing. If not, it just completely messes up the combo. You could use Striker. You could use Farah. You could use Madame Bo, which obviously I haven't even tried yet. You could use Big Daddy Goro, who was actually my personal favorite cameo with Ghostface before Striker. I think Striker might be it now because of the crazy damage. And you could still use his grenades to back you up, to use them as mix-ups. I can't say... I can't praise Ghostface enough. Like, Ghostface is my personal favorite character in MK1 right now. Until something changes, Ghostface is my number one. There's one guest character that's very, very, very close to Ghostface. I'll talk about him in a little bit. But Ghostface, in my opinion, is the most fun character in Mortal Kombat 1, just period. So, of course, Lord Ghostface is going to be in the S tier category. One of the greatest guest DLC characters ever, man. Just absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark with Ghostface. All right, next up, we have Conan the Barbarian. So Conan the Barbarian was one of the strangest, in my opinion, choices for a guest character. I mean, based on his movie, like Conan the Barbarian movie, it makes sense that he would be like violent enough and, he fits in Mortal Kombat. But did anyone ever ask for Conan the Barbarian? I don't think anyone ever asked for this character. Now, that being said, they absolutely made Conan an incredibly fun character. They actually, so because Conan was in MK1, I wanted to understand some of the references. So I went back and I actually watched Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Conan the Destroyer I thought was cheesy as hell, I think like everyone else, but I liked it. Definitely not as much as the first one. But because he was a DLC character in MK1, it made me go back and check out some of the movies. And man, I really, really enjoyed Conan the Barbarian movie. It's actually a lot sadder than you would think a movie like that would be. There's a lot of sadness to the movie, and I think just overall there's a good mixture between like some comedy, action, adventure, and of course some drama with a lot of the sadness that happens in the movie. It's really good. So I'm happy that I got an opportunity to sort of spread my wings with learning about a new movie, because then I understood all the references that they put into Conan in MK1. And just in general, I feel like Conan is one of the most fun characters in the game. I feel like I don't think he's going to go to the S tier rank because, I don't think he's as fun as the S tier rank characters. But Conan is one of the most fun characters in the game. I think he's going to be in the same category as Peacemaker and Omni-Man, but the gap, in my opinion, between how fun Conan is compared to Peacemaker and Omni-Man is huge. Like, I rather play Conan 10 out of 10 times over Peacemaker and Omni-Man. But, the category is still, maybe there should have been like an A plus, right? But yeah, Conan is so fun. He has a lot of cameos that you can match up with him to make his combos like crazy long. You could match him up with Serena, do some ridiculously crazy combos. I like the fact that he has this stand 2-2 restand, because that way you could restand the opponent, do a bunch of crazy combos. As you guys see here, I'm using him. See, there's 2 restands right there. I'm using him with Shujinko, which Shujinko is one of the best cameos to use with Conan if you want to get some really high damaging combos, because then you have access to whatever move Shujinko steals, and it makes the double restand even more effective, because you could mix up the combo structure of Conan. But for the most part, Conan is very versatile. I really like using him with Tremor, because Conan doesn't have like a meterless launcher that doesn't involve his forward 3-3-4. But if you pair him up with a character like Tremor, he's going to give you a meterless launcher, and you could do that multiple times with the restand. So I think Tremor's a really good one. I feel like Conan would be really good with the new buff that Stryker got. I think he would be really good if you do like a full combo, maybe into the sword spin into Stryker or something like that. But yeah, Conan is super fun. I had zero expectations when Conan was announced, because I had never watched the movies. And even when he came out, or even like before he came out, I had zero expectations in what how fun he was going to be gameplay wise. I had zero expectations of how interested people were going to be in him, because everyone was like, man, like, I don't want Conan. Like, who the hell asked for Conan, right? But I think he surprised a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people had fun with him when he came out. Obviously, then, people go to their main characters and all that. But I feel like a lot of people were surprised at how fun Conan was. So Conan, man, what a fun character. I just absolutely love how much of a brawler he is. He has a bunch of hype stuff like coming back to life. He has the reflect. He has the restand, which gives him a lot of combo variety. So much fun. So Conan here is going to go at the number 1 spot in the A category. And now, last but not least, the newest guest DLC character that has come out in MK1, we have the T-1000. And the T-1000 is that one character that is getting very close to being the number 1 character in the game for me, as far as how much fun I have with this character. Because not only is the T-1000 like actually very, very good, I think he's the best character in the game. That's just me personally, because he has everything, especially with Movado. I think Movado makes the T-1000 the best character in the game. I actually really like him with Stryker, the way I had been using him. That's definitely my favorite cameo to use with him, because I could use his bombs to get the spike mix-up. And if the bomb hits, or if the low hits, then I get a full combo punish. And if they block the low and I'm, vulnerable, the grenades are still going to protect me for the most part. Like the most the opponent could do is like a down one or something like that, or maybe an armored attack. The only bad thing is that I can't combo from command grab, which I can with some other characters like Madame Bo. Madame Bo's really good with T1000 as well. But yeah, he's like the ultimate Swiss Army knife, right? And I think they described him that way in the Combat cast, which is 100% true because he works well with every single cameo in the game. There is not one cameo that does not work with T1000. And that gives the player so much variety when it comes to what you want to choose. I've already played with like 6 different cameos with T1000 and I had fun with every single one of them. Of course, depending on how well that cameo fits, the variety or the difference in fun factor is going to change. Like, for example, you get some really sick combos with Scorpion cameo, but that was definitely not as fun as a character like Madame Bo or something like that, right? Obviously, Striker's my favorite, so it doesn't really compare to a cameo that I use like Scorpion. And I haven't even used, like, I still need to play with some other cameos that I want to make videos on. Like Shujinko, he's going to get all the steals, all the move steals. So it's going to be like double the copy, right? And also Sonya is actually a really good cameo for T1000. So there's still a lot of cameos that I want to try. And wait, this is sick. Oh, up block. And then we're going to go into the best brutality that he has. Oh, come on. That got me so hyped. That was such a sick ending. Making a comeback, up blocking, and then going into the brutality combo finish. Like, around that time, I was like, all right, this character's sick. So T1000, in my opinion, is one of the most fun characters in the game. I think he's in the top 5 of being one of the most fun characters in the game. To me, Ghostface is my number 1 character that I have fun with the most, and T1000 is trailing him. He's trailing him. I don't know if T1000 would actually surpass Ghostface because I think I've had enough time to really, compare the two as far as, which character I prefer. And even though I do think that T1000 is actually better than Ghostface as far as tier list wise, because I think T1000 is the best character in the game, with Movado at least. It's debatable with some other cameos, even though he does really well with those cameos. But just Movado, the ability to combo from Spike anywhere on screen and it auto hit confirms is just like, it's so good. It's so good. But I had enough time to sort of compare, and I think Ghostface is going to be untouched for me. T1000 is very close, but I think Ghostface is going to be untouched as far as... Here, let's actually end off on a good note here. We'll check this out. He tries to get me with the fatal blow, and then I hit him with the chop chop. Yeah, a lot of people told me this is more of a reference to Jax's classic fatality, which I definitely agree. It definitely looks more like that fatality than a chop chop. But I just call it chop chop just because that's what came to mind at first. So let's go finish off this video putting T1000 right behind Ghostface as far as guest DLC characters. So this is it, guys. This is my tier list of the guest characters in MK1, rating them compared to each other on how fun they are to play. My number 1 is Ghostface, then T1000 trails him, then Conan. Actually, those 3 by a long shot are separate. Like, there's such a huge gap, in my opinion, between the 3 in Chaos Reigns and the 3 in Combat Pack 1. That's just me personally. But then we have Peacemaker, then Omni-Man, and then Homelander in the B category, just because I feel like, at least for me, I only have fun playing Homelander when I'm using Pharah. So that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.